Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's been the difference between like last year I had a really bad lower back injury that it put me out of commission. Like Sam saw me. I've talked about it a little bit in here. I shuffled home, like I had to stop the workout and like I could barely move. And I spent 4 months without a chiropractor. It got a little bit better. And then once I started seeing him, like what happened in months like 4 through 8 was like probably 65% of everything. And like the first 3 months was like 25%, like 30%. So and I really do believe, because it was right when I started seeing him consistently, it gets the spine and the different joints in the right alignment to where like you could be doing anything and everything, but it's just not moving there. And you can even get supernatural chiropractic adjustments as well too. Like just praying into the Lord, he'll move you while you sleep. Right. I do think there's nothing wrong with going and actually seeing somebody for it as well too, but just praying on that as well too, right? Like as you go down into sleep, like just ask the Lord, bring me into alignment, right? And you might feel something as you sleep. You might have a dream or something around that, but there's some powerful things with that too. Yeah, lots of fun stuff. Um, all right, let me make sure it's not recording there or up on top. So guys, today's class is going to be on, oh no, I need the password for this. Oh, I didn't even need it. Okay, perfect. All right, guys. So this is class 6 of 8. I can't believe we're already on class 6. We did happen to skip one last week, so just with the timeline on everything, we're actually class 5 of 7. But um, with this, we are going to be going over today prophetic fitness. So just to catch some of you guys up, if you missed some classes, the previous week we went in on fasting. The week beforehand, we talked about how to be able to grow your faith muscle in terms of your health, and just had a lot of fun exercises. Before that, we went through the F3 matrix. And then the very first session we did was how to be able to conquer your body and really be able to just go on this journey with Christ in your health journey. Today, on that F3 matrix conversation, which is really understanding what it looks like to combine the powers of faith, fasting, and fitness together inside of your health journey. We're going to be talking about fitness today. And so with fitness, one of my favorite conversations on this is the topic of prophetic fitness. So how many of you guys are familiar with the prophetic, in the body of Christ? Just like by a raise of hands. Most people here pretty prophetic. Anybody not familiar with it? Okay, cool. So that helps out a lot with this teaching, but we'll still go over some basic things with this. So what I want to share on here is this very first picture here that I chose for this, because one of the most beautiful experiences within exercise that I want to share with you guys as a perspective today is when you get lost with God in the movement, and you get lost in, maybe it's dancing, you get lost in rollerblading, you get lost in running, you get lost in just a deep stretch that allows you just to be able to finally breathe for the first time deeply in hours, whatever it might be. When you are just able to kind of lose track of, oh my gosh, I forgot I was here on earth. I thought I was with the Father in the throne room, the entire time. That's when exercise starts to become something that doesn't just become something like, oh, I'm only doing this because my trainer told me to, or I'm doing this because my doctor said I need to get some levels right, or I'm doing this because I want to lose some weight. It's like, this is actually becoming something that is a part of my DNA. Like Gracie, like you said, you wake up, I think at 4 a.m. and go for your walks, and that's like your consistent thing every time. I assume you probably love it just because the connection, right? That ability just to get out there, spend time with the Lord, but also like you're taking care of yourself, right? Yeah, huge part. And it's that same excitement to where it's like there's days you probably look forward to 4 a.m. and you're like, that's my me time, right? Rather than like, hey, 9 o'clock at night, and I'm going to look forward to some habits that might not be the most beneficial for myself, but kind of like put the emergency brake on at the end of the day to slam me into bed because I didn't do a good job of actually easing into rest for the day to get my circadian rhythm right. Exercise is something that we can look forward to in the morning to spring us up, or can look forward to in the evening to slow us down, or we can look forward to in the middle of the day as like a recharge, right? Something that gets us just pumped up. We don't have to go to coffee. We don't have to go to caffeine for. So when you can see it as that tool to reconnect with the supernatural energy of Christ, and just really appreciate it for what it is. It's kind of like this, to where it's, wherever you're at, you just get lost. There's nothing else but you and the Lord. And so I want to share that same activation for you guys today, just as you start to explore what that looks like, whether you're walking, you're stretching, you're strength training, you're running, whatever it is for you. Let's get lost to the Lord in that, and really just start to have let it be a fun container for a conversation with him. As we go in today, I do want to share something over the next 2 weeks that we're going to be doing in here, just to add a little bit of some extra fun for you guys, and get a little bit of some friendly competition going as well too. So this is going to be a new accountability challenge for these last 3 classes. This will kick off tomorrow. I'll explain all of this in detail for you guys. But what this looks like is, over the next 2 weeks, Sam and I really want to incentivize you guys to put a lot of these things into action that we've been working on. And so, Natasha, we were talking a little bit about the intermittent fasting. This is a big piece here, and I'll explain that more for you guys. But what this looks like is, every day over the next 2 weeks, I want you guys, those of you who want to commit to this accountability challenge, you don't have to, but there are prizes and it's totally free. It's like, why not, and just get some benefit out of this. But what it is you're going to choose one workout a day, 5 minutes minimum. That could literally be, you set a 5-minute timer and you sit on the floor and stretch. All right. That could be, you set a 5-minute timer and you go for a walk around the house. That could be, you choose to go to the gym for an hour and spend some time doing an assortment of things. That could be, you go in your pool and you just start swimming laps. I don't care. I just want you guys to move for this. And as we go through the prophetic fitness challenge or conversation today too, you're going to get some words from the Lord on what movements you're feeling called into as well too. So follow those nudges. But this is also a way to get you into following his voice today with what we learned. So feel free to change it up every single day if you want. But every day you work out for 5 minutes minimum. And then you also practice intermittent fasting. So I'll show you guys a couple examples of this too, but I'll just share some testimonies here with you guys. I have found through daily movement, usually it's like 20-30 minutes of walking and intermittent fasting, to transform people's life. I had a client, Steve, he was in his 60s. He went from 260 pounds to 200 pounds even, just through walking and intermittent fasting every single day. When I was meeting my wife, Sam, for the first time, I started to dive in deeper into fasting. I was a new Christian, but I've been, using fasting for health purposes for a while. It was one of the things that, like, in my infancy in Christ, getting out there and just going for a walk with my nieces while experiencing fasting was one of the places where I was making myself available for a conversation with the Lord on saying, oh, wow, I think I actually want to do my relationship with my wife differently. And it was the first time celibacy became something that was open in a relationship for me. Beforehand, it was something that never, like, I wouldn't have, thought would even be something to pursue. So it creates that mindset transformation for you guys. I've got a client, Treva. She's in her 40s, maybe. I think she's mid 40s right now. She dropped from like 220 pounds to like 160. She's a taller woman as well too, like 5'10", but dropped over 50 pounds just simply, doing. She was working out as well too, but the walking and the fasting was a big piece on that. Let's see, who else has been kicking butt with these types of things. I've had clients like my client Corey, who is a new father. He dropped, I want to say 25 pounds in a season where he had just had his second daughter, or was about to have his second daughter. I can't remember, because we've been working together for a while. But all he was doing was just 2-mile walk every single day and intermittent fast as frequently as I can. Right. So it's not necessarily in the magic, like you have to do it every single day, but let's just start that and see where the Lord takes it for you guys. So a lot of transformation can come here in terms of cancer, fasting is one of the best things to be able to reduce inflammation in the body and start to be able to see cancer cells shrink, because cancer cells, I don't know if you guys know this, they feed off of sugar. Okay, sugar is the number one thing that they feed off of. So when you go into a deep fast, what you're doing is you're allowing your body to just flush out all of the extra glucose, just let your body start to digest through that, the glycogen, and then your body has to start going after alternative sources like your own body fat, eventually start making ketones and other fuel that your body will start to utilize. Your own cellular tissues, right, through autophagy, like we've talked about. So there's a lot of benefits that can come from this. And as you start to just introduce some intermittent fasting, it allows us to get more of that fasting lifestyle as well, too. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't intermittent fast all the time, right? It's kind of seasonal for me. As you start to get leaner and leaner, it doesn't necessarily make sense to always do it every single day, because, you know, you just need to start to spark your metabolism a little bit more. But with that, it's something that I always come back to. It's not a diet. It's just a tool in your toolbox as well, too. So your food can still stay where you want it to. And we'll go in next week and make some tweaks as well in the nutrition class. But these two habits right here are phenomenal. So with this, there's going to be some points in here and some prizes. And what I want to see you guys doing is posting your daily updates with these inside of the Telegram chat, which I'll share how to be able to do that. But the reason why you want to do this is because we're going to have some prizes for the accountability as well, too. So first place, the person who gets the most points over these next 2 weeks, Sam and I are just going to give you guys $100 bill, right? Just to reward you for this. You guys are doing it. We just want to put a little bit of something there for you guys to push on this. That's a date night, right? That's getting some groceries. That's whatever you want it to be. You could buy $100 worth of Snickers, you know, and stock up your house for the year. I don't care what you do with it, but it's yours to be able to use. Second place will also get a Kingdom Health t-shirt as well, too, completely free for you guys. So just to have some fun with this. It's not about winning the prizes, but hey, if you can win, why not win, right? And then so how to start to earn some points here for this, guys, is let me make sure I go back here. I was just making sure I was recording, so I've forgotten to do that a couple of times. But how to earn points for this is every single day there's gonna be 3 points possible. So we start tomorrow, right? So that means over 14 days, because the very last class will be our last day for it, where we will announce the winners. 14 times 3, it's gonna be 42 total points that are available over the next 2 weeks. You're gonna track your own points. There's 3 points possible every day. You get 1 point just for updating us on how you did. All right. You could say, I missed both things and I'm eating a bowl of cereal at night in my own tears because I didn't do what I wanted to. And I'm really sad. You got a point for that day, at least, right? You gave us an update. Doesn't matter, you know, what is inside that update. So I would prefer that you put that inside of our Telegram group chat. I'm going to have a thing here to where you can join that. I'll send out an email tonight too. If that's a little bit easier for you. I know some people, don't necessarily enjoy like the social media aspect, even though Telegram's more of like a group chat thing, but it's, you can also email here, but I would prefer that we just start to build that community inside that Telegram chat as well, too, and just put up those daily updates in there. So you could just say something like day 1, workout done, intermittent fast done. If you want, you can add a little, you can just send it there, or you could put in a little bit of a reflection there as well, too. And then you also get a point for if you did your exercise for the day, and you get a point for if you did your intermittent fasting for the day. So a perfect 42 points would look like an update every day, and you get and you did your 2 things for the day as well. Go ahead.
Especially about fasting, you said you eat within 8 hours, or do you
Yeah, I've got some slides that'll show everything for you here in a second. Great question. And if it doesn't answer it, we'll come back to that one. So if you guys are not in the Telegram chat yet, you can scan this code on your smartphones right now, and it'll take you to be able to join on there. I think a lot of the people in here are, but I know not everybody is. This will also go out in an email tonight as well, too. If for some reason you just have a lot of issues joining with this, again, you can just email me back at that same email that I'm sending you guys the weekly ones at, just with your own updates there as well, too. So it's not required to join that, but that's where the community will be. It'll be a good time. And if you have any issues with that afterwards, just pull us aside and we'll get that rolling. I'll leave that up for about 5 more seconds, and then we'll go on in. Anything I missed there, Sam? No. Okay, cool. All right, everybody got it? Who needs it? Okay. Yeah, I think I got you in there. Okay, so here's some examples, guys, of what I mean by intermittent fasting as well too. So this is just from another training that I copied over, hence the different color scheme on this. So intermittent fasting, we talked a little bit about during the fasting training, but the most common style would be to eat within a 6 to 8 hour eating window. And so it would look like not eating solid food until 4 to 8 hours after you wake up, and then eating 1 to 3 meals in the middle of the day. I feel best eating 2 meals a day off of this, but you can do 3 if you would like. And then you stop eating 2 to 5 hours before getting ready for bed as well too. So that piece on stopping before bed is a big one for being able to unwind into the evening as well too, and get a lot better sleep. So what this looks like for you would be, you wake up at 7 a.m., you have some water at 8 a.m., and then maybe you have some coffee or tea. Caffeine is helpful to blunt your hunger as well too. So in your coffee or tea, it's okay to have a splash of milk, a little bit of honey. I would encourage you guys to steer away from the really sugary creamers. And if you do want something, go for half and half milk, honey, even raw maple syrup is a good sweetener as well too. Some people like that inside of their coffee. But those two options there allow you to be able to get a good flavor palette. If you don't like black coffee or tea, you totally do not need it. And then, you just have water from 10 a.m. to 12 o'clock. And then you would have meal 1. So a good example of this would be something with protein, carbohydrates, and some fats. So a simple solution here would be something like, you could go out to eat and get some potatoes or maybe some French fries, and you would get like some grilled chicken with maybe like a side of avocado or something like that. Or a salad could work out well, and you get some fruit on the side, right? If you're at home, you could blend up a smoothie with like coconut milk, bananas, and vanilla protein powder with some other berries or something like that in there if you wanted something nice and healthy there. And then you would have an optional snack or meal around 4 o'clock, and then you'd have your final meal about 6 o'clock. This is a 6-hour eating window to where you're getting most of your food in within about 6 hours. Obviously, you're going to continue eating a little bit after 6 o'clock, in the sense like you're not going to finish your last meal in 1 minute typically, but this would be about a 6 to 6.5 hour eating window. I found this one works great for fat loss and transforming the body. Another example, if you guys are an early eater as well too, would be for fasting because you can change it up for you guys as well. So you're not just stuck on one of these. If you like to eat a little bit earlier, you would look like fasting for 2 hours after waking up, eating your 1 to 3 meals in the morning and afternoon of the day rather than in the evening, and then fasting until the evening into bed. So this one would have your longest portion of fasting being done in the evening. So if you like to eat a little bit earlier, you might have your first meal at 9 a.m., then your second meal at 1 p.m., and then you might have like an optional snack of like some Greek yogurt and some berries at 4 o'clock to satisfy a little sweet tooth. And then you go to bed and you feel good. So that's the second option here. Another third. Oh, I only included 2 of those there. But that basically shows to where you can kind of adjust this to where if you want to eat a little bit earlier in the day or later in the day, give this a shot for the next 2 weeks. You guys, most people start to feel really good about 5 to 6 days into this if you haven't done it consistently. And any questions on that? Did I answer what you were your earlier question? This one? Yeah. Yeah.
You to change like for work, the late one would work, but for days off earlier.
Yeah, absolutely you can. A lot of people will like kind of base it off of like, did you go 16 to 18 hours after the last time you ate, and kind of measured off that. So that like some people might teach it differently, but the way I look at it is each day after you wake up, the clock resets. Just whenever you do decide to eat, try to contain it within like a 6 to 8 hour eating window, and you're going to do really well. And if it becomes 8.5 hours, you still did the thing. It's not like it's the end of the world if you go a little bit longer. Yeah, absolutely.
You could probably eat about 7 or 8 that like low in calories, but get you full.
Yeah. Yeah, fats are really, really good for that. One of my favorite things is Greek yogurt with like sliced up bananas and berries. So you could also do grapes as well too. Or you could do whipped cream is actually surprisingly low calorie. You get whipped cream and you get some berries, right? Whipped cream and berries with some grapes, chop it up. That whole thing might be like 200-300 calories, and you could have it at like 7 o'clock as your dessert. And those, go ahead.
They were saying, I don't know, like soy products like hummus or maybe drinking some multi-collagen or whatever at night. I don't know.
Yeah, those can definitely help for keeping you fuller. I think I personally, and some people might resonate with this, I've got more of a mental thing. If it doesn't taste good, it's not going to fill me up type thing, to where it's like, so if I just do like a scoop of some collagen and water or something like that, and hummus is great too, but I try to go for the foods that'll like satisfy a little bit more cravings like that. So like with hummus, if you're craving like a crunch, you might add in like some carrots or like some cucumbers or something like that. Or even, just get a couple pita bread like chips or something like that. But you just kind of ration it out to where it's only like 150 calories worth. So that might be like 20 pieces that you kind of rip up. But you utilize it in a way that's helpful for you. So I would go more sort to like what you crave and just find that healthier variation of it. The one I shared might be helpful if you have a sweet tooth. Hummus with like some chips could be helpful if you have more of like a salty and you want something crunchy, but you just keep it to like 200-300 calories. So just enough to kind of get that sensation in the mouth that you're looking for.
Piece of cheese.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's a good one. I like with this to kind of get out of the snacking mindset though with it. So like I would try to say, okay, how can I turn that piece of cheese into a mini meal, right? So maybe you get some cheese and then you get a little bit of like some rotisserie chicken or something, or some of the meat that you use from like a dinner, and put it on like a low calorie tortilla or a smaller tortilla, and make like a little quesadilla. Something that it'll have a little bit more protein in it, be a little bit more satisfying as well from the fiber from the tortilla. The biggest thing that helps with this intermittent fasting is like, let's get out of like the quote unquote snacking. If you're going to eat, make it into a meal, even if it's a small meal, right? That's okay. But it's like, you kind of get rid of the snacky tendencies, if that makes sense. Oh man. Yeah. There's these roll-ups that I eat that are great. That fill me up. Yeah. Prosciutto and mozzarella roll-ups that you can get from like Tom Thumb or Kroger. Oh my God. I had one of those last night after Dub's class. Because my brain exploded from all the angelic activation stuff. You guys were there. That was a really good class. Yeah. I've been talking to my angels all day since. But I got home and I had these, let me see if I can get them on a picture right here. Yeah, I got about like 6 or 7 of them I was talking to. Yeah. Prosciutto and mozzarella. I think I misspelled that, but let me see here. Yeah. So these are the exact ones that it was just showing right here. So this one, I get from Kroger. So if you guys see this, what's great about these, the whole container is about 350 to 400 calories, and it's 40 grams of protein. What's that, baby? Yeah, it's just dense. So it's 400 calories of just cheese and meat. You guys can also, like, if you've seen charcuterie boards, it's the same style of like meat and cheese on those. But I'll get these, and there's some of them like these ones, I think, that I personally don't like, to where the cheese is like a block, almost like a string cheese. Which string cheese is another good one, actually. Like if you wanted to have something to like snack on at night, 2 pieces of string cheese, or those little Bluebell cheese, or that's Baby Bell cheeses, those are good too. You Right. So you might make it into a meal and get some nuts with it, or get some fruit as well too. It's a great point. But this is a great little mini meal that I will have. And if I want some carbohydrates with it, oh, I lost it. If I want some carbohydrates with this, I guess I have to go here. Okay. This one up here in the top left, I'll actually put it on a plate in an air fryer and drizzle a little bit of honey on top. And I'll put it in the air fryer for like a minute, maybe 2. And it melts this thing so good, like mozzarella cheese sticks, but they're sweet, like with a little bit of honey on top. You just eat it with a fork right off the plate, and it's so good. So that whole thing, 400 or 500 calories. You have it at night, it's a small meal. Or you can get some grapes with it. Yeah, some fruit like that as well too. So that's a really good one as well. Any other questions, guys?
That if you freeze bread and then in the freezer, if you, okay, it's frozen, you make toast out of it, that somehow the body doesn't get all of the bad stuff.
I know like with Ezekiel bread, they freeze that to maintain some of the freshness, but I haven't heard that specific one. So I don't have an answer that I think could be valuable for it. Have you heard anything on that one, Sam?
So it basically freezes out some of the bad stuff, so. Well, it's like our body can't, whatever is bad for us, our body cannot, if it's frozen, our body doesn't absorb it. It thaws out in the stomach.
Thaws up in the toaster.
Yeah, there might be something to it. I just don't know. Yeah. Cool. Any other questions, guys? You guys excited for this one? Okay, cool.
Exploring all this stuff, we have questions, just use the Telegram chat to.
Yeah.
Feel free, Patrick and I will both be in there.
Yeah. Yeah, and as you go through too, it might be like, hey, I did this today, but I'm curious if I need to make a change in there. Or like you could just say, hey, here's my update. I ate this today too. I had a question if this was all right. You can get instant feedback from us inside of that group as well. So just to be able to support you guys there. These slides right here, I can send them over in the email for you guys, yeah, and add it in as well. Okay. So guys, we'll go ahead and dive on in today into prophetic fitness. I am going to